Welcome back aboard Arabella. This week, the boat leaves Mattapoisett on the way north with a stop in Gloucester. Thanks for supporting the channel by liking and subscribing, and contributions on Patreon make it all happen. Find out more in the video description.
It was nice to be back in Mattapoisett, kind of like where it all began.
It was. Some really fond memories of being at Ed's yard and walking down to the little ice cream stand.
Yeah.
Word got around pretty quick that we were back in town.
It was so funny. We kept running into people and they'd be like, "We heard you were back." Like, oh, it feels great to be welcomed somewhere, but I'm ready to move on to a more secluded and convenient location.
Yeah, the mooring field is pretty big, and it's a little bit of a tender ride in, which we eventually will have to be in places with longer tender rides and even more exposed. But if we head a little bit farther north, we can get to some pretty cozy little spots, and it's just so much easier with Akiva. I swear I was spending a third of my day taking Akiva in to go walk him.
I know.
Time taking the tender in, walking him, getting in, taking the tender back, doing that. Well, them do it at night.
I think the long tender ride wasn't so much it was like, yeah, it was a long tender ride, but it was the long tender ride coupled with the like mile long walk to my car.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanted to go.
That was a little, I mean, still beautiful place to be, but, all right. So we're off today, making our way up towards Gloucester, and trying to beat some thunderstorms that are coming in this afternoon and get on underway again early tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This will be our third time through the canal.
Yeah?
One of these times we're going to have to go out and around.
I know. At least the lightning is behind us now.
Can you do me a favor and pop down the companionway and hit the lights, the running lights?
Yeah, how do I do that?
It's on the switch.
Just hit the thing that says running lights?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, on it. Don't shake, please, dude. Don't do it.
He's like, screw this, I'm out of here. This sucks.
One thing we see a lot in the comments is folks wondering about the temporary Dodger that's lasted almost a year at this point. There is a plan this summer to get the permanent one made once Arabella gets settled up in Maine.
Security call, tanker D4 large, Boston Light, exiting Nantasket Road, supposed to be outbound to sea.
My mom's famous awesome chicken, which we now call amazing chicken. It was Steve's special request for dinner tonight, so figure we survived the big storm, and now we need a meal, a hearty meal to warm our souls. It's chicken thighs with just a really simple buttermilk Dijon honey sauce. You just do a quick dip in the sauce, dunk it in some breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, and give it a nice sear in a pan so it gets a nice little crisp, and then we'll throw it in the oven and let it cook over 20 minutes. It is literally as simple as it gets, and it is so good. It's my mom's famous recipe.
It is really nice to be on the move and waking up in a different little harbor, taking Akiva for a walk into town.
After a quick morning walk through town, it was back to the boat to go through the departure checklist before heading on.
Now we are good.
All good in the hood?
Full of oil.
Sweet.
That's how we want to be. Full of oil. Mattapoisett was really nice, but such an exposed anchorage. I mean, it's not a super exposed anchorage, but...
Well, some of the tender reds in were a little sporty.
Yeah. I had one where I got, like, totally soaked.
I know. Every time we had to ride the tender end, you would bring your all your foulies.
Scituate was really nice.
That was great.
That was a cute little harbor.
I think coming into there in July would have been a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
We would not have as easily snagged a mooring.
No. Yeah, there were lots of empty moorings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the wind wasn't in their favor for making Gloucester under sail, so it was back to motoring for the rest of the day.
It's rolly out here. Roly-poly. I miss our sails.
Once they were set up on a mooring in Gloucester, the next step the following day would be to head back to get the truck, still parked in Mattapoisett.
Thank you.
All the different ways we've had to figure out how to get my car from point A to point B. We've never had to take a train before. So yeah, this is Akiva's first time and our first time.
Welcome aboard the 10 o'clock train to Boston, making the following stops: West Gloucester, Manchester, Beverly Farms, Montserrat, Beverly, Salem, Swampscott, Lynn, Chelsea, and North Station.
And North Station and South Station are not connected. So you gotta walk across. How long was that?
It was only like a mile.
Yeah.
We could have taken the train, but it would have been just another connection.
Wait.
It was nice out. I did my walking.
And then hopped on the train again and
In South Station, and then, yeah.
Halifax.
Yeah.
Is that right? Not
Yeah.
Nova Scotia.
No, not the good Halifax. The South Shore Halifax. Much less exciting. Yeah.
Mike's picking us up.
Yeah, and we have a ride with him ultimately back to our car in Mattapoisett.
Yeah, bumping the car is a little bit of work, but I mean,
Yeah.
we have to get back to Western Mass every few weeks for stuff with my mom, so we really have to have wheels, so I don't really have
Yeah.
too much of a choice.
Not much of a choice yet,
No.
but someday we'll be able to ditch the wheels and kind of put both feet on the boat.
So a big chunk of today is just managing to get back to Mattapoisett.
Yep.
Get the truck.
Trying to get like as much out of the day as we can. So got the grocery order picked up and trying to kind of do all of our land tasks so that we can be reclusives back on the boat again for a few days.
I look forward to it.
Me too.
Akiva's tired.
Akiva walked all over the world today. Akiva walked so much today. It was like his dream day.
Back on the boat.
Yep.
Truck's parked down the road.
We're all stocked up. Home for the night.
It is laundry day. Robin's gonna go for a run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer emails. Sit at the laundromat for a while.
It's a good day for it.
If you do have the ability to visit Gloucester sometime, definitely make sure to leave time for a stop at Virgilio's, a local staple for the last 90 years.
I'm excited.
Gloucester is America's oldest seaport, and if you come in by the water and watch your depth finder, you will definitely see why. It's wide, it's open, it's deep, and it goes back into a very protected natural harbor. To my understanding, the first Europeans to use it were fishermen who came over, and it still is to this day a fishing port. So Gloucester has worked very hard to maintain its roots, and it is definitely a working harbor. There's lots of fishing boats coming and going at all hours. There's a lot of living legends that have come out of Gloucester over the years, and one of them I had read about years ago, and that was Howard Blackburn. So Howard Blackburn got caught in a storm offshore dory fishing back in the day. So they would go out with these schooners in the 1800s, and they would go to the Outer Banks and way offshore to fish for cod. And they would drop these dories, these rowboats in the water with two guys, and the guys would
row and set their lines and collect their fish, and the schooner would come back and pick them up. Well, they were out in the winter, and Howard and his dory mate got caught in a storm, and they decided that the schooner was not going to find them, and they were not going to find the schooner, and that did happen. If you go to the Fisherman's Memorial in Gloucester, you'll see the long list of names of people who have perished from Gloucester in the sea out working. But Howard rowed and rowed and rowed through a winter gale for 5 days until he reached mainland. His dory mate died on the second day, and Howard lost all of his fingers and all of his toes. But he survived, and he came back to Gloucester and started Blackburn Tavern, which unfortunately doesn't seem to exist any longer, but the sign is still on the building. And he continued to solo sail and did, I believe, 2 transatlantics without fingers in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So if you are looking for an interesting read, I highly recommend Howard Blackburn's Tale. It was a good book. I can't imagine letting my hands freeze around the oars and chunks of them breaking off as I'm rowing, and knowing that I'm going to lose my hands, but I might save my life, and that's the price. When you're in Gloucester, it doesn't take long to spot these old-looking wooden boats from a bygone era, and seeing them sailing around the harbor, you're not really sure if it's 2024 or 1824. So one of those boats that's out in the harbor is Arabella, who's built by Harold Burnham, who's also a local. And Harold is someone who's helped us out a bunch throughout the build. So I met him very early on, and he offered to give advice anytime we needed it. And I'll never forget trying to figure out the rabbit on the stem and having a really hard time. And I called a few people, and nobody could really give me much of an answer. And then I was like, well, Harold said, if I needed help, I should call. So I called Harold, and I will never forget. He's like, the rabbit is a groove that the planking sits into. Make it smooth, make it fair, hammer some cotton in it, get it in the water. If it doesn't match up with what Akin drew, don't really worry about it too much. If you don't like something, change it. If you change the plans too much, scratch out Akin's name and write your own. And just hearing that so matter-of-factly from someone who's built many big boats in his life, that was very comforting. So it was really, really great to see Arabella sailing in the harbor when we came in. Get the chance to go check out Gloucester, I highly recommend it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you get out on a sail with Arabella and Harold Burnham, tell Harold that I say hi, and I'm sure you'll also enjoy that as well. So we will be back in Gloucester at some point, I am sure, but it is time to keep poking north. Robin's got a work thing for a few days, and Noah, who is a regular volunteer on the project and is an experienced catboat sailor, is going to come jump on with me And we're gonna head up and I think stop at the Isle of Shoals and then make our way up to Cape Porpoise, where Robin and I will rendezvous and continue poking Maine as time and Mom's health allow.
Right, I didn't think this one was going to go.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
If we sell one ticket, we'll go. If we sell one ticket, we're always glad to see.
Yeah,